Good evening. We're here to discuss recent developments in the legal proceeding to remove the Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner in the city of St. Louis. Several things have happened in recent days that we wanted to provide an update on. The court has issued several orders. Additionally, we've uncovered new pieces of evidence indicating that the Circuit Attorney is taking nursing classes instead of fulfilling her additional duties. I'm going to give an overview of the case where it stands now. Judge Corrigan will provide an update on the court's recent rulings, and then I will briefly discuss the new allegations and take a few questions. In February, after calling on the Circuit Attorney to resign, and after her refusal to do so, we initiated the legal proceeding to remove her from office. It was necessary to do so to protect the public, to restore the rule of law, and to find justice for victims. After several weeks, numerous additional witnesses had contacted my office with additional evidence establishing her unlawful refusal to do her job. My office filed a 121-page amended petition, and the Circuit Attorney asked the court to dismiss the case. After 60 days, 5 pleadings, 4 meetings with her attorneys, and a hearing on the matter, the Circuit Attorney decided she wanted a different judge to preside. This tactic was an unnecessary delay, but we remain committed to moving this case forward. Yesterday, the court issued several orders. I'd like to turn the microphone over to Judge Bill Corrigan, Deputy Attorney General for the state of Missouri, who's leading the litigation effort in this matter, to discuss these orders.
Good evening. As you all know, yesterday, Judge John Trubisky issued an order very favorable to our case. Judge Trubisky denied the motion to dismiss filed by the Circuit Attorney and allowed all of our primary claims to proceed. And we were delighted and pleased with Judge Trubisky's ruling, and I'd like to quote part of it, because in essence it summarizes what we're arguing in this case. We, the state of Missouri, provide numerous instances in which the Circuit Attorney has failed to meet a duty, and that we, the state of Missouri, assert that these examples demonstrate a pattern and practice of her willful failure to act contrary to a known duty. Among those duties are her duty to prosecute cases, make charging decisions, keep victims informed, and ensure defendants and victims receive a speedy trial. Now that we are armed with Judge Trubisky's decision, we look forward to prosecuting our case, and we look forward to the trial in late September. In addition to the order denying the Circuit Attorney's motion to dismiss, as many of you also know, Judge Trubisky issued a very favorable order with respect to our subpoena directed to the Circuit Attorney's office. And in that subpoena, we asked for 59 categories of documents. Judge Trubisky denied their motion to quash our ability to get those documents and found that we are entitled to obtain 90% of what we've asked for. And what we've asked for includes all communications to and from victims in the cases we've alleged in our amended petition. It includes information about the warrant backlog, the staffing shortages, the caseloads, and other categories of information. We look forward to getting that information after 2 months of delays, and the judge ordered them to produce those documents within the next 30 days. Finally, the first deposition will take place tomorrow. We're scheduled to take the deposition of the city budget director tomorrow at 10 a.m. We look forward to prosecuting our case. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Corrigan. Clearly, this case has crossed a threshold and is moving forward. A new judge either has been or will be assigned shortly, and we will continue to move towards the September 25th trial date to remove the circuit attorney. Discovery as to her files will be turned over within the next 30 days pursuant to the court's order, and we'll begin deposing the witnesses we've asked for. Over the past several weeks, my office has also received information indicating that the circuit attorney was participating in nursing classes at St. Louis University. In response to this information, and after discovering that online records confirmed the information, my office issued a series of subpoenas to the school. We have demanded documents related to her class schedule, related to the hours and participation in class, any hours she has worked at the school, surveillance camera footage, and relevant communications and documents between the student and the staff. Section 56.445 of the revised statutes of Missouri require that the circuit attorney devote her full time and energy to the discharge of her official duties. Obtaining a nursing degree is not one of her official duties. Prosecuting criminals is. Yet she has consistently failed to charge new cases, inform and confer with victims, and move the cases she does charge to disposition. Most recently, she has failed to appear for a murder trial and an assault trial, resulting in 2 different judges issuing show cause orders requiring her to explain why those judges should not hold her in contempt of court for failing to show up for scheduled trials. At least one of those orders appears to be proceeding to a hearing on the matter. Those are legal proceedings independent of my removal proceeding. But again, they demonstrate a consistent pattern of behavior of her refusal to discharge her official duties. The court has opined that her office appears on the brink of collapse, and within the past 2 weeks, several more of her assistants have quit and walked away from the dysfunctional office. The court has opined that her office is a rudderless ship of chaos. Every minute she remains in office puts lives and property in St. Louis at risk. The criminal justice system in the city of St. Louis has ceased to function, and people are suffering from her unlawful refusal to do her job. We know that she was not fulfilling her official duties. Now it appears she is further violating the law and the statute by pursuing other duties outside of those permitted by statute or authorized under the law. If the circuit attorney wants to be a nurse, she needs to cease pretending to be a prosecuting attorney. It's time for the circuit attorney to go, for the rule of law and justice for victims to prevail. With that, I'll take a few questions.
So it's 5 o'clock. Did you just call for her to resign?
I renew my call for her to resign. That has been a consistent call since February when we commenced this proceeding.
Why are you renewing that? You've already done that. Do you know that? Do you expect her? Do you have inside information suggesting that she's going to resign tomorrow?
I'm telling you that this just got a lot worse for her because this case is proceeding pursuant to the judge's order. She's now going to be required to turn over discovery. She's got 2 other judges that are threatening to hold her in contempt. Her staff is fleeing, and we now have additional evidence that she's willfully violating the statute by not pursuing her official duties and pursuing other things.
So you don't have any inside information that she's planning to resign tomorrow?
There are rumors circulating around Jefferson City and St. Louis about potential resignations, and I'm here to tell you we will pursue this case unless and until such time as she resigns and commits to not running for office in the future.
Are you saying that she's breaking the law by going to nursing school?
She's breaking the law by willfully refusing to discharge her official obligations. Going to nursing school is not one of her official obligations, and she's missing court and failing to discharge her official duties, at least in part because she's doing other things.
If another elected official was taking other classes or other education or had other activities going on outside of their official duties, like, would that pose a problem in your mind legally?
It depends on the statutes governing the conduct of those official offices and whether or not they're performing their statutory obligations.
Have you thought about pursuing quo warranto proceedings against the Iron County Sheriff who's been charged with kidnapping?
Yes, that matter's under review.
What does it say about her office that she constantly doesn't have anybody, and we see people leave her office on pretty much a weekly basis now?
Well, it's unsurprising given that she's blamed her own assistants for her failures. And at the end of the day, Section 56.450 requires that she is responsible for the conduct of all criminal cases in the city of St. Louis.
Do you respond to her calling this a witch hunt?
Yeah, absolutely. Our 121-page amended petition speaks for itself. That's ample facts and evidence that she is unlawfully refusing to do her job, and the judge found there was enough there to proceed to a hearing, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
If she does resign tomorrow, what happens to that office? Who takes over? Kind of explain what happens.
Statute gives the presiding judge the ability to appoint a prosecuting attorney until such time as the governor would select someone to fill out the remainder of the unexpired portion of the term. I know that there are other regional leaders that would be ready to assist, and certainly the state has resources ready to deploy in the fight against violent crime as well.
Who do you have in mind?
I'm sorry?
Who do you have in mind?
It's not my role to pick a replacement. My role is to see that justice is done and that she's removed.
How would you say her lack of duty has affected St. Louis?
Well, 500 businesses have left since 2019, at least in part because of crime. We know that there are victims that are not receiving justice, that show up to court for a trial date that's been scheduled for months, and then she refuses to appear and refuses to send assistants to appear to prosecute those cases. So people are suffering.
Have you offered assistance? You can do that, right? Can you offer assistance,
She's been offered assistance numerous times from numerous different entities.
including yours?
My office has not offered assistance. I know she was offered assistance previously under previous administrations. Between the time that I took office and we initiated the quo warranto proceeding, there was no exchange about taking over cases in the city of St. Louis. In other words, there was not an opportunity to do so.
Deposition tomorrow, you said, of who?
City Budget Office.
And after that, is there anyone else planned that works for the city for depositions moving forward, and if so, who are they?
The Comptroller's Office deposition is scheduled for May 11, and that's the next and only other deposition scheduled at this point in time.
Thank you all.